Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Intertwined live, or Entrelazados in Spanish or Portuguese. I'm not really sure what the primary language of Argentina is. I'm sorry. I'm just bad at that. I've never been to Argentina, and I think it would be interesting to see. But in this case, we don't have to go there to see the cast of Intertwined, or Entrelazados, performing sort of a version of their story or a sequel. I really couldn't tell. If you don't speak the language, you're going to need to turn on the subtitles for you English speakers that are single language people. Just saying, I turned on the subtitles and I kind of got what was going on. This is a fantasy series based out of Argentina, of course, that follows a young woman. Her name is Allegra in this, played by Carolina Dominic. And, but she's called Allegra. She's called Allegra, but they call her Laura throughout the show, which, I don't know. Is it the same thing? Is it like Margaret and Peggy? You know, like Peggy Carter is named Margaret in Captain America? I don't understand that. More translation, but in this case, it's a time travel story that takes place in different eras, but it's a musical as well, and that's why they're on stage. They're performing popular songs from the show live. And there is, in the series, we've already watched at least one episode of the series in a previous episode. I can't even remember when. It's been a while. But there's different eras in which we visit these characters in the past, the future, and the present, and you kind of shift around. Of course, the most popular part of it is the teenage years, when Laura, is a member of a love triangle. One component, the main part of the love triangle, she's in love with a guy named Marco, but there's a boy named Felix, who's also in love with her and does everything for her, is an unconditional friend, and as much as he wants to tell her how he feels about her, she is always dead set on Marco. Even when it gets to that moment where you think that they're on the same wavelength, he does anyway. And this is who I am. I was almost fooled as well, but I'm not that familiar with the show. So, yeah. In that moment when he's about to say his true feelings, of course, she goes, "Oh yeah, I really love Marco. I gotta tell him." I'm a Felix. I'm sorry, but that's just been my experience. But yeah, hey, what are you gonna do? It's this is from 2023, so it's fairly new. It's an hour and 9 minutes long, and it features a lot of numbers. I think it's mostly the original cast, as far as I can tell. I really don't know these people very well. Jose Jimenez Zabiola plays Marco. Felix is played by Kevshow. Just Kevshow. And then, of course, there's other favorite supporting characters throughout this. I could go down them, but I would be probably just butchering their names and just embarrassing myself further than I normally do in any of these episodes. So what you get here is a live concert experience, choreographed. I don't know if they all have microphones on, and I don't know if they were lip syncing during the performance or if they just put a clean track over top of the performance after the performance. I don't know. I can't really tell. It just, from watching it looks like the lip syncing, but you know what? If you're a fan, you don't care. Most of this audience is preteen girls and their moms just freaking out, just having a great time going, "Oh my gosh, these are the people I love in my favorite time-traveling teenage romance show, and they're performing right here live in front of me. This is pretty great," and that's fantastic. I mean, Disney has a pretty strong collection of shows in Argentina and South America, all different parts, and so yeah, this is just one more of their kind of classic bits. There's one point where I think Marco and some of the boys actually start singing. They're going down the aisles and just high-fiving kids, and they're just losing their minds. It's so sweet. And so that has to be a pretty fantastic moment for these kids. I don't know how many performances or whatever they did with this, but I'm sure they chose the best from all the filming days that they had. And makes for a good good little performance. It does nothing for me. The stage presentation is pretty good. There's lots of really cool light effects and projection effects on the back wall, layering things. Half the time I had forgotten that there's a time travel component, considering that the actors didn't seem to change at all. I figured that there would be an adult component, but I really don't know. At one point, I think Marco might have been erased from reality. I don't know. And then he came back and everybody's surprised. I don't know. I don't know. All I know is that I can't tell if this is a continuation of the actual series, like, between seasons kind of thing. Because toward the end, Felix, I'm not really spoiling anything for you, seriously. Toward the end, Felix turns to the audience and says, oh, you want to know more? You want to know how it all works out? Well, the story isn't written yet. And then they go to a trailer for the next season of the series. And so all the kids go nuts, like, oh, there's a sneak peek of what's coming. So yeah, that's kind of neat. So, but yeah, this is not for me. This is not made for me, and that's okay. It's Disney is primarily for children, yeah, but we can appreciate some things as adults, and that's not everything, no, and that's okay. So yeah, if you're a fan of the Entrelazados series, whether you speak Spanish, Portuguese, or Portuguese is more of a Brazil thing, isn't it? You might be able to tell me more than I can't. I'm not going to figure it out right now. But honestly, you know, if you're a big fan of the series and you want to see one more bit, well, here you go. Complete your collection of Intertwined watching. But yeah, for us adults, maybe it seems compelling. Like the trailer that they showed has a certain level of pretty cool tension editing that made it feel like it could be something that would be really cool. But it's not the kind of thing I'm really going to go out of my way to watch, considering I watch like 1,000 things a year. It's a lot of stuff. And trying to watch something that I have to read at the same time as, I would never get anything watched. But hey, just try watching try watching undubbed anime. Let's pick tomorrow's episode. 384. Ooh, toward the very end. What could be down there? We only have 393 different items to choose from. 384. Ooh, 384. I gotta make sure. Yeah, 384. We have a short, a classic short from 1938. But doesn't sound like it's part of the usual crew. The Mickey, Donald, Goofy, Minnie, Daisy, Pluto. It is actually, again, I don't know, but it features what appears to be these three characters. Winkin', Blinkin', and Nod. So that's what we're going to watch. The Disney animated short from 1938, Winkin', Blinkin', and Nod, on the next Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that. Bye.